It's Dreamforce time in San Francisco, and Salesforce co-founder, CEO, and Marc Benioff tells me that the AI revolution is not tomorrow, it is today. We're at Dreamforce all week to bring that AI revolution to life. Here are some of our top moments. All right, Yahoo Finance is back at Dreamforce talking AI, the future of AI, well, the future of tech. And I have to bring in right now, really the man of this show, Marc Benioff, co-founder, chairman, and CEO of Salesforce. Thanks for having us again. We appreciate it.
Ryan, it's great to have you back at Dreamforce.
Yeah, Marc, 1 year ago, we were talking about workplace management, Slack, Tableau. Today, there's just been an AI explosion. I went to the campground. It's the exhibition hall here. This AI explosion, or as you would say, the revolution is here. Talk us about what that means for businesses and society.
Well, Brian, I think you can see it at the show. This is the most exciting business opportunity of our lifetime, maybe any lifetime. I mean, it's unbelievable what is happening. Every business will get recreated with artificial intelligence. People are here trying to understand how to do that. How do they do it for themselves? How do they do it for their businesses? And I think this is something that is widely unexpected, that a year ago, you're right, we're kind of right in the heart of cloud computing, mobile, social, the enterprise. Now everything is getting augmented with artificial intelligence.
How will this impact the common business and even the big business?
Well, you can look how it's already impacting my business. My engineering organization, which is a huge part of my cost base, is already 30% more productive through AI tools. And that is completely unexpected, and that's happened only in the last year. You're only going to see that to continue to accelerate. Software engineering, which is a great example, is probably one of the areas that we're most surprised is able to achieve new levels of efficiency with these AI tools. And there's going to be so many more industries as well.
Is there a major tech buying cycle about to happen?
Well, I think that is why we have so many buyers here today. You look at them looking at our CRM products that now are about CRM, but also data, which is critical for AI and AI itself, but also trust. We have to deliver this in the enterprise. You know how these LLMs work. They're hungry for your data, your personal data, your company data. Our customers are not so quick to turn over all of their corporate assets to these LLMs. We have delivered a trust layer that helps them to be protected from the LLM environment while still enjoying all the benefits of artificial intelligence. I think the other huge opportunity is for us, we're delivering the new generation of all of our applications. For example, in sales, you've never been more productive because of the AI. At the same time, you're going to be able to do just a lot more. Everyone is becoming an Einstein, if you will.
Do you think these systems, as they become more powerful, get more inputs, that they put our values as a society at risk?
Well, there's no question that you're going to have all kinds of challenges from AI in society. And it's going to come from all different sectors. It could be the workforce, it could be misinformation, it could be many different things. And we're going to have to really be able to look at things in a whole new way as we evaluate how is AI going to impact society. We saw this today, you know, where I live in Hawaii, you just had these horrible fires, and just read about how there's AI systems that are creating huge amounts of misinformation around the fires. I mean, that's unconscionable to me. What kind of organization has a value system that would do any such thing? But they're out there, so we're going to have two kinds of organizations, those that we can trust and those that we cannot trust.
What's government roles to protect people from that type of situation like we're seeing in Hawaii?
Well, I think the government's going to have to really step it up and really offer another level of regulation. And I think they obviously failed. They get an F for social media and how they've handled them. We've seen that play out. And I hope that in AI, they really step up and do the right thing.
Talk to us about, you also mentioned in the keynote, you had a box. The box showed a robot and a person. And I think you called it artificial general intelligence. When is that coming and what in the world is that?
Well, you really see AI really in 4 different waves. And the first wave is what we've been experiencing over the last 10 years, which is predictive. Now that predictive wave, well, all these customers, they've had their hands on that for a decade, and that's what's delivering those trillion Einstein transactions every week. Now we're in the new world, generative AI, everybody understands. That's all about these new large language models, the ability to put things together, to have this kind of free-form artificial intelligence in a chatbot type world. The third wave that's coming is more autonomy, more agents. That is where you have the software working on your behalf. doing things without you actually giving it instruction. And the final one is when it's kind of thinking for you. And, we've all seen the movies, HAL or Her or War Games or Minority Report, and, all of these things. But we're going to hopefully get there with the right level of values.
So some of these dystopian views, are they going to happen in our time? I mean, are things moving that fast in AI?
I think things are happening much faster than any of us realize. AI was going very fast because of the open source model for a long time. Then I think we kind of had a bit of a pause, and now we're going very fast again. And again, a lot of it is because AI researchers build it, write it, put it in open source. It lets other AI researchers get at that very quickly and move forward at a much faster rate than other technologies. It's not like a lot of the other proprietary technologies that we've had emerge in the last 20 or 30 years. Like, for example, mobile phone operating systems aren't really open source systems.
Good morning. This is Yahoo Finance.
Big news, 3 things that you need to know.
We just got the announcement.
What happens now?
Now I got a question.
What does success look like?
What was one of the biggest challenges that you faced?
How much does that raise the odds for a recession?
This phase is over. Tell me what happens to the debt ceiling.
Where does generative AI, though, fit into your portfolio?
Talk to us about this diversification and what investors need to know.
And I think it's important. This is the stuff that gets me out of bed, fired up.
What's the gateway? What's the new bridge to opportunity?
Doesn't matter if it's a soft landing or a hard landing.
Big interview. I can't wait.
Supreme Court out with the ruling on President Biden's student debt cancellation.
Right, let's turn now to some recent tech earnings.
And they give you information if you watch them closely.
President Bostic, President Mester, Gary Gensler, thank you so much.
Part of what Davos is about is sharing best practices, coming forward with ideas, and then enabling those ideas into action.
And I would add that there's more to come on this.
And we keep producing products that help people lead healthier lives.
This is one of those rooms they use to simulate light in space.
Interest rates will come down again. Figure out where your money is going now. You gotta scope that out.
And the numbers really tell the story.
What does all this mean for you?
Keep it tuned into Yahoo Finance.
In observing the installations down what you call in the campground here at the event, a lot of people they were learning AI for the first time. Does this revolution require a major retraining of American workers?
Yes, it requires a retraining and reskilling, not just of most workers, but even of the most technical, including the ones that are here, which we call trailblazers. A lot of people have seen our technology at trailhead.com, where we have skilled 20 million people to be trailblazers. And they have a lot of AI capability, don't get me wrong. But there is another level, and there's technology within generative AI, like things called prompts and grounding and embeddings, that they don't have that kind of technical expertise. That's why they're here, to learn that, to build a community around that, and to get ready to bring that back rapidly in their enterprise and start deploying that. And that's what we're helping them to do at Salesforce.
What's the deal outlook? I know you started this AI venture fund. You're putting money to work there. What's your plans with that, and what's the M&A outlook for a company like yours?
This is a very important job for any tech leader at Salesforce. Our venture arm is critical to our future success. We just had 2 of our venture investments speaking on a panel, Hugging Face and Cohere. These are companies that specialize in the LLM world, AI companies. Salesforce has put $5 billion to work in venture capital, and we've delivered about a 28% IRR. We're very proud of our team. It may be the most successful venture capital arm in all of society, but it really has given us a radar to everything that's going on in the industry, and then our ability to see those new leaders, to see those new companies, to be in touch with them before anybody else, and then to take action. And I think you see a pretty aggressive pivot between Salesforce and Dreamforce a year ago and Salesforce and Dreamforce today. It's because we were able to learn about what was happening in the industry and apply it rapidly. Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, just spoke with me on stage here at the Maria Buena Center. I think a lot of people didn't really understand a year ago how important OpenAI was going to be. We knew it was. We were tracking it very closely, and now that we have that type of technology, we can embed it in our products and deliver a new version of Salesforce at sales and service. In marketing and commerce, we've delivered our new Einstein 1 platform that lets these customers have access to all of that technology immediately. And probably our new data cloud, which is going to give our customers the ability to keep all their data in one place, yet unified with our applications. That alone, I think, is going to prepare them more for the future of artificial intelligence than anything else.
1 year from today, are we still having this conversation in San Francisco?
Well, I think there's never been a more gorgeous day in San Francisco, Bryant.
Okay, fair enough. Marc Benioff, co-founder, chairman, CEO of Salesforce. Thank you for always inviting out.
Great. Thank you for coming and making the huge effort.
Yahoo Finance is stationed in San Francisco for the latest edition of Dreamforce. Lots of focus on AI and the future of technology, but of course, the future of the economy here in San Francisco. Who better to discuss this all with than San Francisco Mayor London Breed. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, glad to have you here, and welcome to San Francisco.
It's a little cold. Where'd the heat go?
Yeah, well, this is San Francisco. We wanted to make sure you had an authentic San Francisco experience.
Thank you, I think. So lots of people, over 40,000 people here at the latest Dreamforce. How important is this event to your economy here in San Francisco?
Well, Dreamforce is important because we're not only talking about over 40,000 people participating in this conference, but almost 80,000 hotel night stays and $57 million that is going to be poured into our economy through our restaurants, our businesses, and all over the city. So we're really excited to have Dreamforce here.
I think Marc, we've known Marc for a while at Salesforce. He made a couple of headlines saying, hey, could this be the last one here in San Francisco? What's your take on that? Were you surprised he said stuff like that?
Well, Marc is committed to San Francisco. I think that some of it was probably blown out of proportion. If you look at his comments last year, he posted thanking San Francisco, 0 incidents, and Dreamforce in its history of being here in San Francisco has not had any problems. And so we do everything we can to roll out the red carpet. People love coming here. It's a wonderful experience. And I just think Marc was just having a conversation, and it unfortunately got blown up in the international and national press. But Marc is truly committed to San Francisco.
And I know you were in the room with his keynote. I was certainly in the room with his keynote. He committed to San Francisco.
Yeah.
This is his home.
Yeah.
Salesforce Tower. This is where it is. And again, there's just a lot of people here, a lot of activity. Take us through what is happening in the San Francisco economy. Yeah. I think in New York and many other parts of the world, we hear a narrative of crime, looting, you name it, but there's another story here to be told.
So I just want to say, sometimes when those stories and those videos that you see that go viral, those aren't always just in San Francisco. We've been attributed for things that have happened in other cities in the Bay Area, as well as even as far as Los Angeles. And San Francisco has been, unfortunately, the punching bag. But the city has changed, but it's changed in some ways for the better. We're still the technology capital of the world. In fact, of the top 20 artificial intelligence companies in the world, 8 are here in San Francisco. People still want to be here. They're starting their companies, their businesses, and we know that retail has been struggling, but retail has been struggling everywhere. I've talked to different audiences and people and asked, when was the last time you stepped foot in a brick and mortar department store or a mall or anything of that nature? It means that as we usher in a new era of technology, we have to adjust, we have to adapt to what our new normal is. And San Francisco will continue to be a leader in innovation and technology. And it's the reason why you keep hearing the stories of people who are saying they're coming back, they're moving back. Even Elon Musk has committed to San Francisco. And so I think that the story and what people are trying to paint, it's a moment in time. It's the challenges that exist with some of the issues that other big cities are facing all over the country. But in San Francisco, because we are still the leader in technology and innovation and in opportunity, we continue to be looked at as really the model for everyone to follow and to focus on.
For those not familiar with your own personal story, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
And how you will get that narrative and you will focus on that as you come up for re-election. Very soon.
Well, I grew up in the city, and I was born and raised here by my grandmother in public housing. I unfortunately have, a brother who's incarcerated. I have a sister who I lost to a drug overdose, and I've experienced, a lot of this most of my life, of poverty, of neglect, of so many things that continue to plague certain neighborhoods in San Francisco. It is why I am so committed to really digging down deep and coming up with new innovative solutions that can sometimes be controversial, but necessary in order to help people change their lives, turn their lives around, but also to provide opportunities so they never end up in these situations in the first place.
I don't know where I heard this, but I heard it somewhere. I think recently you said that I'm running as if I won't have a re-election or something along those lines. You lead that way, right? How important is that?
Yeah, and I say to people, because, you know, you look at the political world and everyone's always trying to do what's necessary to get elected, but I have said that I am running without fear of losing my job, because understandably so, the voters have a decision to decide whoever they want to be mayor, and I respect that. I pinch myself every day because I come from the most challenging of circumstances, and it is truly an honor and a blessing to be here to serve in this capacity and to be courageous in making hard decisions that you know and hope will turn people's lives around. So I'm committed to this job. I'm excited about what we're doing here in San Francisco, and I am looking forward to continuing to welcome people, not just from all over the U.S., but all around the world, especially when San Francisco hosts one of the biggest international events that we've seen since 1945, when the United Nations was established. APEC, the Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation, is coming to San Francisco with heads of states from all over, with the foreign press and business leaders. It is going to be just as amazing as Dreamforce is right now in our city.
Before I let you go, can you just tell us some of the businesses that have come back here? I think this is a very important story. I'm here. There is not doom and gloom in this environment. I know we're in an enclosed environment, but still, there's growth happening here.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about some of the businesses who are focused on staying and expanding. You know, Salesforce is still here. They're not going anywhere. You have Ripple, which has been a great company. They are staying here and expanding. You know, Levi Strauss, this is their home. This is where they stay. And I tell people, San Francisco is the place for creativity and innovation. New startups, OpenAI. Sam Altman is doubling down on his commitment to San Francisco. So we got a lot of amazing companies who are saying, look, people are saying what they want to say. Prologis is committed to San Francisco, but we are here to stay. We're not going anywhere, and we're going to change the world from San Francisco, because if it can happen here, it can happen anywhere.
All right, Mayor San Francisco, Mayor London Breed, thanks for coming on Yahoo Finance. First time. We look forward to staying in touch with you and following your really journey in improving San Francisco. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Guys, back to you in New York.
All right, thanks to Yahoo Finance's executive editor, Brian Sozzi, for that interview.
Yahoo Finance has been enjoying its latest Dreamforce in San Francisco all week. Lots to talk about how Salesforce was reinventing itself, in large part because of AI, in large part to a lot of the efforts from our next guest, Clara Shai, the CEO of Salesforce AI. Good to see you. You're a little bit of a star of the show here. A lot of these innovations that you're bringing to light are being shown off at this event. So how has AI changed your role, and how is it changing Salesforce?
I think it's changing all of us. I mean, what a historic moment for us to be in business and in technology. And this is a show we're hearing from so many customers, getting inspiration and feedback on the products that we have out in market.
Do these customers know how to use this? And I bring this up because I spent a little time on the campground floor watching people interact with the installations, a Williams-Sonoma or an FYI app. This stuff seems complicated. How is that training?
I think AI can be very complex, and that's really the role that we see ourselves playing as Salesforce, is that how do we make something that's complex and risky, how do we make it safe, secure, and accessible for everyone?
What's the biggest upside to AI from a business perspective?
You know, I think that the biggest upside of AI is really augmenting human potential. It's taking the salesperson, making them that much more productive. It's taking the customer service person, automating the mundane so that they can up-level and really connect with their customer.
As someone spending a lot of time in the AI field, what does this all mean for jobs? If I have a chatbot following me around a program, do I need one less person?
You know, I think it's very similar to what we saw with the internet 20 years ago, right? Some jobs will change, every job will change. Some jobs will be created, like prompt engineers didn't exist before. And I think we all have to adopt that growth mindset and reinvent ourselves.
I might have to reinvent myself too. I don't know how to use some of this stuff. I mean, I look at Slack. You know, I go back to when that platform was founded. It was workforce management and productivity tools. But now the ability to have, I guess, transcripts just pop up. I don't have to be in the meeting. I mean, how has that platform changed?
I mean, Slack is incredible because it's a naturally conversational interface, but it's also collaborative. And so you have this amazing thing now where you can collaborate with your team, and one of the team members can be AI.
do we get enough work done? I bring this up because now we have all these productivity tools. Does it slow work down a little bit?
I think that's the feedback we've gotten from our customers and why so many customers have been looking to us to bring AI into where they're already doing their work. They want it in the flow of their salesperson's day, in the flow of their marketing team's day, in the flow of their commerce and developers' day, versus having to go off to a different application, different screen, and having to copy and paste.
Talk to us about the risk of AI. And do you share some of the concerns that we're hearing at this event? I've heard over the past 2 weeks, spending a lot of time out here in San Francisco.
Just like we saw with the internet, AI brings new risks. And we've seen this the last decade. We pioneered Einstein, the first predictive AI for CRM. We're doing the same thing with generative AI. And trust is our number one value. It's also the biggest question that we hear from customers. So the risks are definitely out there. And it's both on the data security and governance side, which is why we built the Einstein trust layer, as well as on the ethical responsibility side. And so as part of the trust layer, in addition to things like citations and prompt defense, we also have toxicity filters and ethical guardrails built in.
Now, I was talking to Marc Benioff, and he talked about, hallucinations or large language models getting information that output false information. Is there a way to protect ourselves from that?
The best way to prevent or reduce hallucinations is to have great data grounded into the prompt. So it's the context that you feed into the large language model. The more context you give it, the less it feels like it has to make it up. And so that's really why our data cloud is so essential to everything we're doing in AI, because data is the fuel for AI.
Is there risk, to society from some of this AI? These LLMs, as they're called, they're getting all these inputs, and they come self-serving beasts. I mean, should they be stopped? Or I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, I think we've seen a lot of the risks to society from AI over the last decade in social media. And these algorithms that were just prioritizing one thing, which was more clickbait. And I think that the LLMs in an enterprise context, I feel much more optimistic about, because we are able to put those guardrails in place, both from a data security as well as from an ethical guardrail standpoint.
As someone leading the charge for AI at Salesforce, how big is your team? And can you find the talent right now to support how fast you're moving in this field?
So our team, we have over 1,400 people across the company working on AI across research and development, our product managers, our product designers, our ethical researchers, and those engaging on the policy front with the White House, et cetera. It is very hard to find that talent, but I think Salesforce, we have such a strong story with leading with trust, with leading with our platform, allowing anyone to build an AI app with no code, low code, that we're able to attract a lot of the best and the brightest.
What's the next big thing in AI? Marc talked a little bit about general artificial intelligence. In his keynote, there was a picture of a robot and a human standing next to each other. Is that the future? What does that even look like?
Look, no one has a crystal ball, certainly not me, but what I know is customers, they need help, right? Everyone's been trying ChatGPT, Google Bard, but now they want to know how they can do this securely for business in a way that drives real outcomes, accelerating growth, cutting costs, fundamentally reimagining and up-leveling their customer experience and customer service. And so there's a lot of work to be done there. We're deploying the Einstein trust layer at more and more companies every day. Many of them are here at Dreamforce. And then focusing on those use cases by business, by department, and then above all, I think organizational readiness, helping companies bring all of their employees along for this AI revolution, just like we did a few decades ago with the internet.
Clara, you're in many respects changing the lives of households, businesses, and a lot of investors on the Yahoo Finance platform because of the technology that you developed. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into this field?
Well, I started my journey actually at Salesforce. I worked at the company in the mid-2000s, and then I left. I was so inspired by Salesforce, I left. I started my own startup, Hearsay Systems, and I led that as the founder and CEO for 11 years. Then I took a personal break to have a baby, and I was re-recruited to come back to the company to lead the Service Cloud.
Boomerang employees that we were talking about
right
past date.
Yes, I am a Boomerang employee. Came back to lead the Service Cloud, and you think, in customer service there is so much AI, but traditionally chatbots are pretty brittle. I mean, those experiences as a consumer, very frustrating. And so when I saw the transformer technology, the large language models that our research team was developing, and we started working with forward-thinking customers like Gucci, I was sold on generative AI, and this happened just in time for ChatGPT to capture everyone's imagination.
Well, a lot of folks who may not be familiar with your work, they're going to certainly know about it now. They need to be following what you and the team are doing here. Farshai, Salesforce CEO of AI. Thank you for joining Yahoo Finance. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.